Following his anti-British rant on Twitter, the millionaire presenter Gary Lineker has been suspended from the BBC. But since the announcement was made earlier, we noticed a bit of a problem with the BBC statement. Welcome back to the channel. Another breaking news story for you guys that you must have heard by now. The last hour or so, we had Gary Lineker, the millionaire presenter of the BBC and the Match of the Day, who has repeatedly broken the BBC guidelines on impartiality and professionalism, has officially been suspended. Now, when they made the first announcement, it was quite interesting, the wording of it, but it kind of changed shortly after because it was challenged by some people. We're going to talk about that in a second. First things first. So those who on the political left who are saying that this is cancel culture, I'm not really sure you know the definition of cancel culture, you idiotic snowflakes. This is basically about professionalism and employment guidelines and rules. The BBC have their own royal charter. It's their own problem to have that. If they don't want it, they could leave the state dependency and they could turn into an independent private outlet and they could do whatever they want. I don't care. As long as I don't break the Ofcom rules, I don't really care. Now, the issue with this is the BBC firstly said Gary Lineker to step back from presenting Match of the Day. So, the wording of this is different. This suggests or implies that Gary Lineker himself is having a row with the BBC and he decided to step back until they get things sorted. That's what it sounds like. Following that, we then had, ironically, Sky News people finding more information saying Sky News now understands that the BBC's statement on Gary Lineker is incorrect. Gary Lineker has not agreed to step back and has instead been taken off air as he's unwilling to apologise for his comments this week on social media. Just a bit of a reminder for those of you in case you missed it, in case you were away. When we had Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, announcing her new plans to stop illegal migration boats and ban illegal entries to the country, Gary Lineker went on Twitter, started having a bit of a rant, and he basically compared the British public and the British society to the 1930s Germany. Yes, if you believe in border security and protection and national security, then you are a German from the 1930s, according to Gary Lineker and the Labour Party, because we're going to get to the Labour Party in a second, because the Socialists have also released a statement. You will be shocked to hear what they actually had to say. I'm going to get into that for us in a sec. First thing says, this was the moment when on Channel 5 News, they announced, they basically texted Gary Lineker live on air to find out whether he's actually decided to step back or if he's been suspended. Let's go to this beautiful piece of Gold TV.
It's one of those strange situations where I'm actually texting the man himself at the moment, and I've asked Gary Lineker the question about whether he is stepping back or whether the BBC have told him to step back, and I've told him that if he responds to me that I will read out that text on air.
Okay, good. So you
There's one word in there I can't use, but he has said, no, they've told me I have to step back.
So it's not his choice.
Yeah, Gary Lineker wants to continue to present Match of the Day and is not apologising for what he said, but he says it's a BBC decision to force him to not present.
Oopsie BBC. I don't understand why they decided to change the wording to somehow put the burden on Gary Lineker himself. Be proud they decided to take him off air. Be proud as BBC bosses that for once you did the right thing and you suspended a rule breaker, essentially. I don't understand how weak they are. They are sitting on the fence. They're trying to appease everybody. On the one hand, they're doing what they have to do. On the other hand, they don't really want to annoy the BBC supporters, if they have any supporters. I don't understand how it works, by the way, with the BBC. But this is where we are. So, the BBC basically said that it's been in extensive discussions with Gary and team in recent days, and has decided that he will step back from presenting Match of the Day until we've got an agreed and clear position on his use of social media. That was the original statement, which is now we know it's not really, it's a bit misleading. That's not what happened. He just refused to come and apologize, so they had to get rid of him for now. They continued by saying that when it comes to leading our football and sports coverage, Gary is second to none. Haha, okay. We have never said that Gary should be in an opinion-free zone or that he can't have a view on issues that matter to him. But we have said that he should keep well away from taking sides on party political issues or political controversies. Then we had Ian Wright, another football pundit, who said, well, in solidarity with Gary Lineker, he said, everybody knows that what match of the day means to me, but I have told the BBC that I will not be doing it tomorrow. Solidarity. Ian Wright, read the BBC guidelines before shouting solidarity like a communist officer from Kremlin. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing everybody. Now, speaking of embarrassing moments, let's go to the Labour Party. What is our lovely socialist group has to say about this issue? Of course, they're taking Gary's side. The BBC's cowardly decision to take Gary Lineker off air is an assault on free speech in the face of political pressure. Tory politicians lobbying to get people sacked for disagreeing with government policies should be laughed at, not pandered to. The BBC should rethink their decision. So for those people who for a second have been thinking recently that Keir Starmer is serious about turning the Labour Party into a grown-up political party, yes, wake up, guys. He died. He lied to you, all of you, because he doesn't believe in any of that nonsense. Firstly, as a leader, he can't control his own team. That statement is not what the Labour Party should have sent out. Firstly, it's not right. It's just incorrect because it's not about free speech. It's about your employment guidelines. Secondly, people have free speech to do if they want to criticize government decisions. They can. The Labour Party does it every single day. So this is not communist Russia. But at the same time, having said that, I'm not really defending the ability to have free speech in this country, considering we don't really have full free speech. But it's not because of free speech or cancel culture that Gary Lineker was suspended. There was also a bit of a row between Gary Lineker and Penny Mordaunt, in case you missed this. This is a beautiful moment when Penny Mordaunt, that I've been critical of at times about overall her policy ideas, but Penny Mordaunt was brilliant the way she responded to Gary.
Here's an exchange he's had with the leader of the House, Penny Mordaunt. Penny Mordaunt has said they've borrowed from Lineker's playbook. Labour are a party of goal hangers and left-wing strikers. That doesn't work in politics. The country needs centre forwards, people who are prepared to put the hard work in and create opportunities. And it needs a team captain with a plan.
Absolutely brilliant. Then we had Gary Lineker's response.
Thank you for mentioning me in your clumsy analogy. I'm just happy to have been better in the 6-yard box than you are at the dispatch box. Best wishes.
How long did it take for him to come up with that joke? You could do better, Gary. I believe in you. You can do better. Maybe not, although. So, let's not forget that one of the reasons he was taken off air was not only he was refusing to apologize, the guy was just completely smug yesterday when he was approached by the media.
Hi.
Hi there. Have you heard from the BBC, Gary?
I'm always talking to the BBC.
What has the Director General said? Anything to you?
Yeah.
What's he said?
He said, well, we chat often. Cheers.
Anything about the tweet, Gary?
Sorry,
Do you regret sending the tweet at all?
No.
Do you stand by what you said?
That's the thing. That smug face was the face of overconfidence. They thought, like in the past, he could get away with it. Because that's usually the case on the political left and on the ultra-liberal side, because they control the establishment. But sometimes, if you put enough pressure on the establishment, they're going to have to be forced to do the right thing. And this is the reality of the situation. Now, we have the new hosts of Match of the Day. It's now been officially announced. We got Boris Johnson and Nadine Dorries, who will be our new hosts for the BBC's Match of the Day programme. Somehow in the Talk TV studios, by the way. So that was a funny meme that was created and was sent to me. And played by my friend Gareth Milner. So that was actually a very good producer at Talk TV. It's actually quite funny because there's going to be so many memes. I might actually do a video tomorrow. I don't really want to talk about Gary Lineker too much But I might just do a special video tomorrow, just reacting to all the memes about Gary Lineker that's going to be created on social media over the next few hours. Let me know your thoughts. Do you believe that it was council culture that brought down Gary Lineker, or his own stupidity? I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.